Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's continue. Page 111. The freezing point of a material is the temperature when a liquid becomes a solid. What is the meaning of the words boiling point? I said it before. Boiling point. When I see the word point, I'm gonna write the temperature. So, point means the temperature. Let's write it together. The temperature, and I'm gonna describe what happens during boiling. So, boiling point means the temperature at which a liquid becomes, or it changes or turns into a gas, because I'm describing boiling from liquid to gas. So boiling point is the temperature at which a liquid becomes a gas. Letter B, write down the temperature of the boiling point of water. Water boils to turn from liquid to gas at which temperature? Excellent. One of the unique properties of water is that the boiling point of water is 100, don't forget to write the unit, degrees Celsius. So the boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees Celsius. If you add salt to the water to make a salt solution, the boiling point will decrease or increase? Yeah, except will increase. So the boiling point of salt solution, maybe it's 107, 110, the number should increase. But here, because he said the boiling point of water itself, it's 100. Got it? What is the meaning of the words melting point? Point means the temperature. What happens during melting? During this point or this temperature, the solid will turn into liquid. So I'm gonna write the temperature at which a solid turns into, excellent, a liquid. Because I'm describing melting from solid to liquid. Letter D, write down the temperature of the melting point of water. Ice turns into, yes, water at, excellent, 0 degrees Celsius. So the melting point of water or water melts, ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna ask you, what is the reverse process of melting? Melting itself from solid to liquid. So the reverse process is, excellent, freezing or solidifying. Solidification. And the reverse process of boiling or evaporation is condensation. Because we said it in the last part, evaporation or boiling from liquid to gas and from gas to liquid, this is condensation. When the gas cools down, it will turn from from gas to liquid. Excellent. Now open page 112. I'm sorry. Look at the information about the melting point and the boiling point of some substance. We said boiling point is the temperature at which a solid turns into liquid. Boiling point means a temperature at which a liquid turns into gas. So here we have different substances and their unique melting and boiling points. How many substances we have? A, B, C, D, E, and F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 substances and 6 different melting and boiling points. Which substance has the same boiling point as water? We know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So I'm looking for boiling point, not melting. So it's here. Which one has 100? It's here. So I'm gonna write letter A. Because he said which substance, not substance. And we have only one that has boiling point 100. Which substance has the same melting point as water? We said water melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Excellent. So I'm gonna look at melting point 0, which is here. So I'm gonna write D. What is the freezing point of substance E? Okay, freezing point, it is the point, it is the temperature at which a liquid turns into solid, because it freezes. I know it's confusing, but it's so easy. Freezing point is the same as melting point. Freezing point is the same as the melting point. How come? It's so easy. For water, freezing point is 0 and melting point is 0, okay? So if you wanna make the ice melt, increase the temperature above 0. So starting from 0 and increasing the temperature, it will melt. So I'm gonna call it melting point. If you lower the temperature and make the ice cool down, it will stay solid. So it's freezing point from 0 and what's below it, like -1, -2, and so on. Got it? So freezing point is the same as melting point. Freezing point is the same as melting point. So which substance has, what is the freezing point, of substance E? I'm gonna look at substance E. The melting point of it, it's 55. And we said freezing point is the same as the melting point. So the temperature at which a liquid turns into solid equals the temperature at which a solid turns into liquid. But it depends on if you increasing the temperature or you decreasing the temperature. Got it? Okay, so freezing point here, it will be the same as a melting point. For substance E, the melting point is 55. So I'm gonna write 55 as freezing point because both of them are equal. Freezing and melting, yeah. The temperature in classroom is 25. This one, it's important, and I know it's not easy, but let's do it step by step. The room temperature is 25. The substance in the table are stored in this room temperature. Okay? Which 3 substances are liquids in the classroom? Liquids mean the temperature is above the melting but still lower than the boiling. For example, أنا دلوقتي عايزة أحول الأيس لسوليد، من solid لليكويد. What should I do? It's so easy. Melt it. طب الأيس بيملت at what? At 0 degrees Celsius. فهديله temperature 0. طب عمالة أعمل increase، خلاص هو الأيس بيترن into liquid. فهو أنا لو room temperature بتاعتي higher than the melting point, the ice will melt, right? When does the liquid water turn into, when will the liquid water will turn into, I'm sorry again, when will the liquid water turn into water vapor? It's so easy. Water evaporates or boils at 100. Excellent. So water turns into water vapor, which means heated water vapor, which means steam. The water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. If I want to turn from liquid to gas, I should make the temperature 100. Got it? فأنا محتاجة أزود التمبريتشر ل 100. طيب وأنا بوصل ل 100، أنا دلوقتي عمالة أوصل ل 100، وصلت ل 99. هل وصلت ل 100 اللي الوتر بتبويلز at it؟ لا. فأم still lowering than the boiling point، فأم still liquid. إمتى تحول من ووتر لووتر فيبر؟ لما تديني 100 and any temperature higher than it. فأنا دلوقتي طول ما التمبريتشر بتاعت الروم أو الروم temperature higher than the melting و lower than the boiling I'm liquid. طب لو التمبريتشر بتاعت السبستن is lower than the melting، والله أنا هستيل solid زي ما أنا. اديني التمبريتشر اللي توصلي الميلتنج وهملت. طب ما اديتنيش التمبريتشر I will not melt. طيب أنا عايزة أتحول لجاز، اديني التمبريتشر turn from liquid to gas اللي هي البويلينج بوينت. فأنا بعمل سكيل يعني صغنطوط كده لنفسي بوضح بيه، بقول الميلتنج بوينت is lower than البويلينج، فبكتب الميلتنج بوينت تحت، والبويلينج بوينت is higher than الميلتنج، فأم gonna write it here. وبشوف الروم تمبريتشر كام، والله الروم تمبريتشر 25. طب انت عايز انهي سبستن؟ الووتر. انا عارفة الووتر بتبويلز at 100 وبتميلز and 0. فانا كده دلوقتي عندي ايه؟ عندي الروم تمبريتشر او الكلاس روم تمبريتشر is higher than الميلتنج بوينت و lower than البويلينج بوينت. فطول ما انا higher than الميلتنج و lower than البويلينج I'm liquid، فالحتة ال in between هتكون liquid. طب والله لو التمبريتشر -1 which is lower than الميلتنج point I'm solid، ف lower than الميلتنج السبستن will be solid. طب higher than البويلينج السبستن will be gas. got it؟ فخلينا نحل ونشوف ال explanation why أو explain why. Here I wanna a substance that is liquid. Liquid means I wanna the substance temperature to be higher than the melting and lower than the boiling point. فأنا هدور على temperature in between، بروح ما بين كل temperature عندي وبشوف ال 25 مكانها فين. لقيتها في أول واحدة in between الميلتنج والبويلنج، يبقى this is liquid. طب هنا لقيتها lower than الميلتنج so this substance will be solid at 25 degrees Celsius. So this is liquid which I needed, this is solid, so I will not write it. See, it's also still below the melting point, so it's solid. 25 here is in between, so it's liquid. 25 here is lower than the melting, so it's solid. Excellent. And here 25 is in between, so it will be liquid. So which three substances are liquids in the classroom? We have A, D, and F. A, D, and F. I'm gonna give you another example for substance X. البويلينج بوينت بتاعتها 10 والميلتنج بوينت -10. What do you think this substance will be solid, liquid, or gas at 25? والله 25 is higher than the boiling point, which means the substance will boil and turn into gas, so it's gas. فيبقى أنا I have a rule. This rule said that if the room temperature that he gave it to me is higher than the melting and lower than the boiling, the substance is excellent, liquid. If the room temperature that he gave it to me is lower than the melting, the substance is solid. If the room temperature is higher than the boiling, the substance is gas. If you wanna from me to write it, I'm gonna write it. Okay, let's write it together. The room temperature is lower than the melting point. So the substance is the room temperature is lower than the melting. أنا لسه ما وصلتش للmelting, so I'm still solid. Excellent. Number 2. The room temperature is higher than the melting point and lower than the boiling point. In between the melting and boiling, so I'm liquid. Excellent. The last one, if the room temperature is higher than the boiling point room temperature higher than boiling point, I am gas. Excellent. You are smart. That's it. If you have any question, ask me. Bye.